Hello and welcome to another Disney World video. This is kind of going to be a mashup compilation of a few days of our trip. So we have a Hollywood Studios Epcot day, there's a day that we spend at Disney Springs, and then we also have an Animal Kingdom day followed by Oga's Canteen. So to start things off with our Hollywood Studios / Epcot day, I wore this olive green workout dress from Aerie and my super cute Baby Yoda ears. I had bought these ears back when we were planning this trip for 2020, and I was finally able to wear them this year. I thought they just went perfectly with my dress, and it was a perfect outfit for Hollywood Studios. Our first stop of the day was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which we had never done before. I thought it was such a super cute ride. I just loved it so much. The graphics are so crisp and clear. The song gets stuck in your head in the best way possible. And I was just really impressed with it. I think it's a super fun ride, and it was probably one of my top rides of the whole trip.
Picnickers! Told you nothing was gonna go wrong!
Next, my mom and I went on Tower of Terror, which was a walk-on, which is fantastic. This is one of my original favorite Disney rides. I was obsessed with this when I was younger, and riding it brought back a lot of memories of going to Disney with my best friends in high school. I just love this ride, it's so much fun. Next, we headed over to Toy Story Land to ride Toy Story Mania. This is a really fun, like, shooter style competition type ride. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm not very good at it. I'm never good at any of these types of rides. And this one, where you have to like pull the little string, it hurts my arm so bad. And I'm so competitive that I'm like just going double speed. So you will have a sore arm when you get off, but it's totally worth it because it's so much fun. We went over to Galaxy's Edge so we could ride Smuggler's Run again. This time the Hondo animatronic was working. The first time we rode it, it was down. It's an incredible animatronic. It literally looks like a real person, so I was really glad that we were able to see it. We had a lot of fun on Smuggler's Run this time. We had a family of 3 with us, and there were 2 little kids, probably both under the age of like 7 or 8, and they were our pilots. So it was not the smoothest ride, but it was a lot of fun. After that, I went and got the Katsaka popcorn mix, which is chili lime and lemon blueberry, which sounds like it's not going to work, but I thought it was really good. It was probably one of my favorite snacks that I had this whole trip, and I would highly recommend trying it, as weird as it sounds. I also got some blue milk, of course, had to do that when you're in Galaxy's Edge. I really liked it. It had like a coconut flavor, so it was very refreshing, and it is a slushie, but it's like very smooth and like really small pieces of crushed ice, not like a normal slushie, so I really enjoyed it. To end our time at Hollywood Studios, we rode Rise of the Resistance again, which was amazing as always, and my mom and I went and did Star Tours. That makes me a little bit queasy, but I think it's super fun. From there, we took the Skyliner over to Epcot for the evening. My mom and I just took some time to wander around the pavilions that we had missed the other day, just kind of browse in the stores and take everything in. Bruce had decided to go back to Pop instead of coming to Epcot with us because it looked like it was going to rain, and he made the right decision because it ended up pouring. It was an absolute classic Florida downpour. Thankfully, when it started, we were in the China Pavilion, which has quite a big store, lots to look at. So we just took our time browsing. Then we kind of decided to wait it out a little bit. I think we waited like 25-30 minutes. It wasn't really letting up, so we put our ponchos on and made a mad dash to the buses. The rain did end up stopping about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, so the three of us decided to go to Disney Springs for the evening. We had kind of like a shared dinner at Disney Springs because we wanted to go to Blaze, but we also wanted to go to Polite Pig. So our first stop was Blaze, where we made a pizza and shared that between the three of us. And then we headed over to Polite Pig and got the Brussels sprouts, the sweet potato tater tots, and the mac and cheese. Those were all so good. I would highly recommend Polite Pig, and we'll definitely be going back. The mac and cheese was some of the best I've ever had. My mom and I also had a margarita, and it's one of the best margaritas that I've ever had. It was delicious. I also really like that it's like a quick service, like you go up to a counter and order, and then you get a number and you pick a table and they bring your food to you. So it's kind of like a hybrid table service, quick service restaurant, which I really like. So Polite Pig will definitely be on my list every time I go to Disney now. After dinner, it was still kind of sprinkling a little bit, so we went back to Pop and ended the night with a drink by the pool. I got the hula hoop, which was a really nice like tropical flavored drink. And if you bought a cocktail from the pool bar for $5, you were able to get a Pop Century koozie, which was super cute, so I got one of those as well. Our next day was a day off from the parks, so we decided to go spend some time at Disney Springs. Our first stop was getting in line for Gideon's. We had never been before, and we were really excited to try it. The line was only about 20 minutes long probably, which isn't too bad. We got there basically about half an hour after opening. Since we'd never been before, we decided to go with the classic chocolate chip cookie, and I also got the peanut butter cold brew. This is probably an unpopular opinion, but I didn't really care for the cookie. I thought it was fine, but nothing special. The cold brew, on the other hand, was some of the best coffee I've ever had. The next time I will definitely go back to get the cold brew, and I will give the cookies another chance. I might try like the peanut butter next time, or maybe a slice of cake or something. But overall, I was super excited for Gideon's, and it was kind of a letdown. We spent the rest of the morning just looking at the shops at Disney Springs. We also went to Wine Bar George, the Basket I think it's called, at Wine Bar George, and you can get a corksicle cup there. And when you buy that, you get a free drink in it. So my mom and I both did that deal where we got the corksicles, and then I got the Dole Whip Old Fashioned in mine, which was actually really good. So we just sipped on our drinks and looked around the stores. For the afternoon, we headed back to Pop Century to read by the pool. And after some relaxation, we went back to Disney Springs for our reservation at Homecomin. Again, we had never been to Homecomin, and it was probably one of our favorite meals this whole trip. I know it's for sure the thing my mom talks about the most now. Everything was just so delicious. I highly, highly recommend that you go to Homecomin. My mom had the thigh-high chicken sliders, which she loved, and then Bruce had like a chicken Pollard, I think it's called, and he said that was really good. I had the mac and cheese and deep fried pickles, and then my mom and I shared the deviled eggs. Everything was so good, and the three of us also shared the moonshine flight. I really liked the sweet tea moonshine. That was my favorite. Mom and Bruce really liked the strawberry lemonade, I think it was. So overall, it was a great dinner. We will absolutely be back to Homecomin. I really think you need to set aside some time to go to Disney Springs on your Disney trip. There are so many things to see, so many things to eat and drink, and so many stores to go into, and you just really need to take your time and take it all in. So next up, here's our day at Animal Kingdom. On this day, I wore my black workout dress from Aerie and my rose gold ears. It was super lightweight, very comfortable for a day in the parks. This day kind of started on the wrong foot. I had misread the spreadsheet I had made, or mistyped something into it when I was doing the park hours, and I had put the opening of Animal Kingdom an hour later than it actually was. So our original plan was to go for the early morning hours for resort guests and do Flight of Passage again, but when we got into the park, we realized that we were late and there was already a 75-minute wait for Flight of Passage. So instead, we changed up our plan and went to Navi River Journey instead. This is such a beautiful ride. We had a walk on, and I probably wouldn't wait more than like 20 minutes because it is quite short, but it really is so incredible to see. The colors are so vibrant. I love the music. It's just a really beautiful ride. My favorite part is on the ceiling there's like lily pads, and you can see little, like, I guess they're the Pandora equivalent of frogs with like their webbed feet going across it. And of course, the animatronic shaman at the end is just incredible. got off the ride, it was still quite empty in the park, maybe not in the Pandora section, but everywhere else. So we decided to head over to the safari. Again, we had a great safari guide. We had new information that I'd never heard before. We saw a lot of the animals because it was quite overcast and cloudy that day. So it was a really good time to go on the safari.
They're not meant to blend into their environment. They're actually meant to blend into one another. So in zebras, these will cool them off upwards of 15 degrees. They'll also use their trunk. These are white rhinos. White rhinos are the larger of the two species of rhinos. They're going to weigh anywhere from about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. Now earlier we were talking about how black rhinos have a triangular shaped upper lip, white rhinos have a square shaped upper lip. They get their name white rhino from that wide upper lip. She'll then shed and lose the mane.
Next, we planned on heading up to Rafiki's Planet Watch on the train, and we had about 15 minutes until it started running. So I decided to get a Rice Krispie treat, which was so delicious. I wish I had it right now. They're just so yummy. And I know everyone says this, but if you're getting a Rice Krispie treat at Disney, you have to get one out of the bakery cases. They're made fresh rather than the packaged ones in the stores. Just a little helpful hint for you to get the freshest Rice Krispie treats. I think Rafiki's Planet Watch is a really underrated place in Animal Kingdom. I always like going up there. I really like the train ride up because you actually see like behind the scenes. If you watch the Magic of Animal Kingdom, I think it's called, on Disney Plus, you see kind of like the enclosures that are on that show, so that's really cool.
More, and there isn't anything.
And then when you're up there, there's like the petting zoo area, and what we went to first was the animation experience. So this used to be at Hollywood Studios, but it's basically where you get to learn how to draw a Disney animal. We were doing Dumbo, which is one of my favorites, and it's just a lot of fun. It's about a 20-25 minute class, and you always think, I'm not going to be able to draw this, and then it always ends up turning out not too bad, so then you feel really accomplished for the day. When we finished the class, we looked around at some of the exhibits inside, and we actually saw a bird having a procedure done in like the vet area, so that was really neat to see. From there, we went outside to see some of the animals in the petting zoo area. They're so adorable, and I love going up here to spend time with them. And one of the cast members was telling us a lot of information about like some of the goats' personalities, which was really cool. Kronk was a bit of a troublemaker and tried to like nibble on my mom's arm. He was one of the younger ones, so he was kind of playful. And then Sven was so cute, and it was just really fun to kind of get to know the animals a little bit better. We decided to eat at Satuli Canteen in Pandora so that my mom could get her cheeseburger pods. I ended up getting a crispy tofu salad, I think. It was off the kids menu because I wasn't that hungry, but the weird part was it didn't come with any like salad dressing, so it was just dry except for like the tofu had some flavor to it. So that was kind of weird, and I ended up making a little concoction with like some honey mustard to put on it, but it was okay, nothing special. And as we were heading out of Animal Kingdom, we actually saw one of the character flotillas, which we hadn't seen before. So that was really cute, and I was glad that we were able to see one. We were heading back to Pop to just kind of chill out for the rest of the afternoon, and while we were on the bus, I bought a lightning lane for Guardians of the Galaxy for around 6:30 to 7 that night. So after we had relaxed at the pool, we headed into Epcot to ride Guardians. We ended up getting September as our song again, which is great because I love that song. But I really wish that we had gotten a different song, but I knew we'd be riding it more, so I was pretty happy to get that. Then we took the Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios and headed back to Galaxy's Edge for our Oga's Canteen reservation. First of all, Galaxy's Edge at night is so beautiful. It just looks totally different than in the day. Like, you definitely have to see it in the daytime and at nighttime, in my opinion. And there was a beautiful sunset, so that was a nice welcome for our reservation that night. When we got into Oga's, I ended up ordering the Odor Rim, which is kind of like their version of a margarita. It was really good, one of the best drinks that I had. I feel like I say that about every single drink, but this really was a very delicious drink. My mom and Bruce ended up getting the Fuzzy Tauntaun, which is the one that has like the numbing foam on top, which is a very like space themed drink, so that's really cool. I absolutely loved the atmosphere and like vibes of Oga's. I loved DJ Rex, he was my favorite part, and I will definitely go back again. I could have spent all night there. It's just a really neat experience, and there's a lot more drinks that I want to try there. By the time we were done at Oga's, the park was just about to close, but I was pretty hungry, so we headed over to Catalina Eddie's on Sunset, and I ended up just getting a cheese pizza, and then we took the Skyliner back to Pop. Thanks so much for watching this recap of some of our Disney days. Make sure you're subscribed to see the rest of our Disney World videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!